I love when they do that. Amelia,
Yes.
I just saw a button that says you are now live.
Uh-oh. That means we're in trouble. Who knows what they caught us hearing? saying.
Yep. I was catching Amelia and I talking about some shit.
Yep. But you'll never
Well,
know what we started talking
they're
about.
all in trouble tonight because this is blunt talk tonight.
Yeah. So they probably caught us maybe some F bombs. I don't
And Master Fawn is with us, so you never know what's gonna happen.
know. Uh-oh.
You
Yep.
never know what's gonna happen tonight. There's our logo. Hot damn. Beautiful. I love
Yeah.
that little logo.
Right. I think he
Um
likes the big mouth better, but
oh, you want the big mouth?
no, I'm saying I think you would like that one better sometimes because
Do we still have the big mouth? I
I have
think
no
we
idea. But
no, I think we do. Hold on. Let me
no,
see if we
sometimes he says he likes that because we do the F bombs, and sometimes he never know what we're gonna come out of my mouth.
yeah, exactly. Um maybe we'll do this one just to
I
break
like
ball.
that one. I love
Wait,
that logo.
watch. Yeah, look, I just put the peace sign up.
Maybe I like that one too.
Maybe
But
we'll do that. Yeah,
but at
we'll
one
put the peace
time
sign.
we didn't know if that was the right way it went. At one time,
Actually, this is the proper way. This is the proper way. Yep. The other way is the not so proper way.
a good segue for tonight's show, right?
You know what? Peace.
No, I'm talking about the symbol, the way it was.
Oh yeah. Hmm. Well, I tell you what. Since we are here, why don't we get this party started?
Let's do it.
You want to do it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're rolling.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
It's 4 o'clock in Los Angeles, 6 o'clock in Chicago, and in New York City time, it's 7 p.m. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a Tuesday night edition of Blunt Talk Radio. I'm your host, Mad Dog DeCipio, joined as I am each and every week. I swear to God, I try to get rid of her, but she keeps coming back. Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman. How you doing, Amelia?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Listen, we got another guest tonight. Well, actually, it's the same guest we had last night. I couldn't get rid of his ass either.
I'm a little heavy.
Master Fawn. The master is back. He is the inquisiting mind. That's what we call him, the inquisiting mind, not the inquiring mind, because he's not the National Enquirer, by God. He's an inquisiting mind. So, Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman, my able-bodied producer, what's going on in the world tonight?
So far, I think it's been very quiet. I'm not really sure. I think there's been, I think there was another shooting over the weekend. I think at the mall. I think it was the Dallas Mall. There was another shooting over the weekend. I think.
You know what? Can I tell you something about those mall shootings and these school shootings? They are all contrived. I believe that they are all part and parcel, bought and paid for by the U.S. government
I agree.
to push the agenda of gun control. They don't want you having a gun.
That
Okay?
and a distraction, like you were telling us
And I
yesterday.
got a bunch of them. Okay. Thankfully, they're all over the place. So if they come to my house to get my guns, they're not going to get them.
Yes, I
All
think
right.
so too. And I think, like you said yesterday, it's a distraction for what the government's really doing behind our back.
It's a very much a distraction. You should the government, by its very nature, is evil to the core. Okay, on a level with Satan, on a level with the devil. Okay, That's, and you know what? I just, out of the mouths of babes that come a gem. All
Mm-hmm.
right. On the level with the devil. And that's our, I am coining that expression because it just came the fuck out. So there you go. All right. Why the fuck not? It's, by the way,
Absolutely.
folks, you know, it's Tuesday. It's F Bomb Central
Yes.
on the Buzz presents Blunt Talk
But talk.
Radio. Absolutely. So, Master Fun, let me ask you a question. Going to bring you up here. I'm going to bring you, my friend, up into the big camera. You are going to share the big camera tonight.
Okay.
There he is. Master Fun is in the big camera. Your first night with his last night. Give me a little feedback, a little insight. Tell me, did you learn anything?
Oh yeah, I
Okay.
saw some things I never saw before.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. You were looked quite surprised, actually. Genuinely surprised.
yeah, I mean, like I had asked you after the show had ended, if this is really a scientific institution as they claim, and ultimately everybody is convinced it is. Well, then what the hell did we just watch last night? What was that?
But well, would you tell me?
I don't believe they can answer that. I don't think there is an answer that would justify where the money's going.
Remember, remember if it's attached in any way, shape, or form to a governmental entity, they're going to lie, they're going to misdirect the truth, and they are more likely than not, with very few exceptions, more likely than not, they are under the auspices of a nefarious agenda. We've seen that play out repeatedly in world history, repeatedly, and that means almost from the beginning of time, which, by the way, nobody can pinpoint. Nobody knows when the beginning of time was. Time is infinite. It's never stopped. It's never started. We have watches and clocks that start and stop, but time stops for no one. In fact, time starts for no one. That's part of the matrix. It's part of the world in which we live. That we have this thing that's so precious to everybody called time, but yet we have none of it and too much of it. We have an eternity of time, yet we have no time to do anything. So,
Right. I know.
I mean, what good is time? And that's a question people can't answer. How do you use infinite time? Some philosopher said you use it infinitely. Well, no shit, fucking Sherlock. Holy Christ. You know? Because I love this little kid named Max Laughlin. But Max is a 13-year-old kid that sometimes sounds like a 13-year-old kid. Okay? You're going to hear from him next week, actually. A lot. Because we've got about 34 minutes of Max's videos next week. In fact, all of the videos next week on the show are from Max Laughlin. Every one of them. But tonight we got some interesting stuff. So, Master Fun, you did the scene inquisiting last night. I call you the inquisiting mind rather than the inquiring mind, because fuck the National Enquirer. They tell lies anyway.
The dirty rag.
It is a dirty rag. Absolutely, it's a dirty rag. Kind of like a tampon that's been used up. You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's like taking a bloody tampon, dipping it in hot water and calling it red tea. You know?
No, thank you.
But that's tantamount to what we're talking about. And you get the analogy, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We showed and explained last night to the world. We hope we explained it well enough to the world that they understood the simplicity of how just infinitely simple it is to get over on people. It's simple.
Very
Hide
much
it,
so.
hide it in plain sight. Hide it in plain sight. If you don't want somebody to find something, hide it in plain sight. I'll give you a perfect example. Perfect example. Okay? It's a place in Wyoming called Devil's Tower, Wyoming. It's one of the most secret military installations on the planet, but nobody knows that because the tourists flock there every day by the thousands to see Devil's Tower, Wyoming. Most people have no idea what Devil's Tower, Wyoming actually is. It was erected. It is not, I assure you, a natural mountain. It's not a natural rock formation. It was created. It was built. It was built by Teddy Roosevelt. It was commissioned by Teddy Roosevelt. The money was bought and paid for by the American taxpayers. Okay? People, they won't tell you that in history class. You got to find that information out from professors that you trust. And there are a few of them out there that will tell you the truth. Okay? Thank you, Professor Goddard. Good guy. Now, let's take we're going to take a little step back. I want to tell everybody that this series of shows last night and tonight, we're calling this the Matrix Mandela Paradox. Have you ever remembered something in a particular way only to discover that you remembered it all wrong? If so, it sounds like you've experienced a phenomenon known as the Mandela effect. This form of collective misremembering of common events or details first emerged in 2010 when countless people, hundreds of thousands of people on the internet allegedly falsely remembered that Nelson Mandela was dead. It was widely believed that he died in prison during the 1980s, specifically 1981. In reality, Mandela was actually freed, allegedly, from prison in 1990 and passed away, allegedly, in 2013, despite some people's claims that they remember clips of his funeral on television. Well, guess what? We have that clip. We have that clip. Nelson Mandela died twice. He died in reality, and he died as a very good lookalike. Paranormal consultant Fiona Broom coined the term Mandela effect to explain how this collective misremembering and then other examples started popping up all over the internet. For instance, it was wrongly recalled that C-3PO from Star Wars was actually was gold, but one of his legs was actually silver. Likewise, people wrongly believed that Queen, what's her name? The Queen in Snow White, the evil Queen.
Oh, yes.
Snow White says, "Mirror, mirror on the wall." The correct phrase, allegedly, is "magic mirror on the wall." Well, guess what? If I were to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I have the videotape, Walt Disney certified videotape, and that tape says, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" Hello. Okay. You'll notice I say allegedly several times there. Let's talk about why I say that. Let's go back to Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela did, in fact, in point of fact, die in 1981 in prison in Johannesburg, South Africa. I remember that. I remembered it as a little boy. Oh, well, not as a little boy, but as a younger man, because I wasn't a little boy until in the 1960s. I was a little boy. But in 1981, I was a young man about to get married. Okay. In fact, I got married in 1983. So I remember Nelson Mandela and what happened. Well, since when, ladies and gentlemen, do you go into prison looking haggard and coming out looking beautiful? He spent 30 plus years in prison and came out looking better than when he went in. How does that happen? Looked like he got a facelift, a hair job, looked like he lost weight. He looked fit and trim.
Yeah, absolutely. He looked like a
Well, you're going to see the best of What's the Buzz podcast, in which I will show you Nelson Mandela before and after. You tell me if it's the same guy. Just to show you how easily you can be fooled, the great actor Morgan Freeman portrayed Nelson Mandela in the film, okay? In the film called Mandela. You'd be hard-pressed to tell the two guys apart.
wow.
That's how much they had him looking like him. But it's remarkable what you can do with a little bit of makeup. And
Yes,
I mean
it is.
even very little makeup, okay? Because if you get a guy that looks enough like your subject, sometimes you don't need any makeup at all. Just look at Joe Biden,
Yes.
you know? I'm convinced that the guy playing Joe Biden isn't Joe at all.
Oh
And
yeah.
we've
the guy
got
playing Joe Biden.
I believe we can prove it because we've got a video that we showed he's wearing a mask.
Yes, he is.
Amelia, I showed this on the show.
Yes, you did, and you could tell that he is wearing a mask.
He's wearing a prosthetic mask,
Yeah,
a
you even
rubber
pointed.
mask.
You even
Do you ever
pointed out
see
to
them
it.
now? They sell them. You can buy them.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yes.
pull them over your face and they cover your shoulders and your chest.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
They
you
run
did.
about $200. You see them all over advertised on Facebook
Yeah,
and all over the place. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's, I believe the actor playing Joe Biden is doing a really shitty job because nobody walks like they got a corn cob shoved up their ass. Okay. This guy's walking like he's got a load of shit in his pants. Okay.
He does.
He's overplaying it.
overplaying
Master
it.
Fun. What I'm saying here is I believe he's overplaying it. Okay. By the way, I got to get you out of the big camera now because
Yeah.
it's my turn to go in the big camera. And then Amelia, you'll be next. But tell me if I'm lying here.
You're not lying. You're telling the truth.
No.
Because they even showed it where he was scratching the back of his head too. You could tell that was a fake.
Yeah. He was adjusting his mask. You could see. I'm going to show this again. I may show it before the end of the show tonight, but it's absolutely remarkable. Remarkable. I'll give everybody kind of like a heads up here. This is our show and tell tonight. We're going to start off with a little show and tell. Take a look at this. And I don't think there's any music here, so let's do this. Let's put our own music on. What do you say, Mill?
Sounds great.
Let's put our let's play a little music. Here we go.
Wow.
Now, they call this I laugh when I see shit like this. They call this a glitch in the matrix. What you're looking at, folks, are two sets of twins. Now, if you do a little bit of research, and it doesn't take much, if you do a little bit of research, and as I said, it doesn't take much, you will know that this photo was taken of these two sets of twins that were on their way to a twins convention in New York City. It's not rocket science.
Mm-mm.
Follow the timestamp. Follow the timestamp.
Or some kind of contest or something. You could tell.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a twins convention.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Master Fun, you're the guy who likes puzzles, right?
Okay.
You see two faces there?
No.
Okay. Do you see two sides of one face?
Yes.
What were if I were to tell you that you're actually looking at the two pieces from the same bag that show two different emotions? One half of the M&M shows anger. The other half of the M&M shows a smile, even complete with a thumbs up. Would you buy that argument?
It's possible.
Then you're
I
very
mean-
gullible because it's the same bag and it's a smile.
Oh,
In other words, what I've just proven, folks, to Master Fawn, who by the way is a brilliant inquisiting mind. Did I mention that yet? That Master Fawn was just fooled. That's a singular bag of M&Ms. And someone simply ripped the corner piece off. And they got, oh, well, look at this. Hey, I see two different expressions on there. No, what you're seeing is two halves of the same expression. It's like, is the glass half full or half empty? It's all a matter of perspective.
Yep.
You get me now?
Part of the mouth is closed, the other part is kind of like
And therein, ladies and gentlemen, therein is the Mandela effect and a glitch in the matrix. Okay. This photograph was taken in Tampa, Florida. You can clearly say it's a Tampa Police Department, okay? So what's going on here, Master Fawn? Glitch in the matrix?
sinkhole.
That's exactly what it is. It's a sinkhole.
Yes.
Someone took that photo and said, oh, look, it's a glitch in the matrix. No, it's not. It's actually a sinkhole. What's the giveaway? The torrential rain that Florida receives every year. That was the
And Tampa
giveaway.
is known to have sinkholes.
We get a lot of them.
Florida has a record number of sinkholes due to the fact that Florida is built on a peninsula. It's surrounded completely by water. Completely surrounded on every side by water. And the ground is often loose. Okay.
That one's funny.
Here's something you've not seen before. That ought to scare the shit out of you.
I bet.
That's Jeffrey Epstein morphing into Andrew Jackson, and they are identical twins. Is that a glitch in the matrix or a simple coincidence?
Oh, it's a coincidence.
Yeah. There's only so many facial patterns.
What if I were to tell you that I believe Jeffrey Epstein was here before?
I wouldn't
And I mean
doubt it
here-
was Island, maybe.
And I mean here, remember what we talked about, Amelia. Remember what you and I discussed on this show just 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, fake.
The Illuminati
Really?
have unlimited wealth, unlimited power. They have the ability to morph. They have the ability to time travel. I believe you're looking at Andrew Jackson, President of the United States, who has become Jeffrey Epstein.
And running his island again somewhere secretly. Again.
Well, you know he's not dead.
Oh, of course not.
He never died.
He never will.
Okay?
He'll just reincarnate again and again and
again. Absolutely.
Oh.
He's got more protection than Fort Knox, this guy, okay? Because the people, by the way, I want you to see something. See these two gentlemen?
Yes.
All right. You're going to see them in a video later tonight. I'm going to show them. They have a fascinating story. They are nearly identical. And I'm going to show you something tonight that will, it may have you scratching your head, particularly Master Fawn. What if I were to show you Babe Ruth alive and well in 2023?
No
Babe
way.
Ruth? Alive?
Babe Ruth, the
What?
great Bambino, greatest baseball player in history. Okay. Is this kid just the lucky little boy that got his picture on a cover? Or is this a glitch in the matrix?
It's the little kid on the cover.
I think it's a glitch in the matrix.
Well,
It's like the Gerber baby. It had to be based on somebody.
it was. Her name was Marilyn Chambers.
It's so
She
cute.
grew up to become a porn actress. I'm not even
Doesn't
kidding.
surprise me.
If you think I swear to you, if you think that I am remotely kidding,
Look
please
it
look
up.
it up. Please, I beg you. If you think that I'm kidding, go look it up.
Angelo does his research, people. I swear.
I do my research. I do more research than anybody on radio. Anybody.
He would not put these up unless he did his research and backed it up.
The little boy on the cover is, in fact, the little boy holding the book of himself on the cover. It's not a glitch in the Matrix. He is the grandchild of Robert McCluskey, the author of the book. There you go. That's as simple and as easy as you're going to get. Sometimes you just got to accept something for what it is. So now
that one's going to get you.
What do you think about this one? Amelia, let me go to you first. What do you think about this? Is this a fake? Is it a glitch in the Matrix, or is it something else?
I'm going to say something else.
How about you, Master Fawn?
I think that this was some experiment they did that went wrong.
Well, let me tell you about this. This has been making the rounds as a glitch in the Matrix. I found out the entire story on this, and I will tell you in point of fact, I have previously used this photograph on another episode of What's the Buzz about 2 years ago. Okay? And even I was fooled because I believed the information that was printed about it. Turns out that this is not a real ship's bow sticking out of the rock face. They are real ship components. Let me be clear. They are real ship components. It is a memorial. It commemorates World War II battle known as the Linacommer Landing, and it's dedicated to the Soviet Union sailors that lost their lives during that siege. The memorial was opened on the 30th anniversary of the battle on October 12, 1974. The entire area is now an open-air museum with many World War II era structures, fortifications, and machinery to be found as it was left over from the war. What you're looking at is there was a protrusion in that mountain, and all they simply did was took the front of this ship that was basically scrap metal, and they built this memorial. You'll see the Soviet flag clearly sticking up there. It's the red hammer and sickle.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So,
That's a beautiful memorial for them.
And it is a memorial. It is not Einstein's, as some people tried to claim that they said this is the USS Eldridge. It is not. Two reasons you know why it's not. There is no word Eldridge up there, and it's a Soviet flag, not a US flag. Do your homework, folks. Do your research. All you have to do is open your eyes. Okay, we're going to play What's Wrong with This Picture. Amelia, examine that picture very, very closely. What's wrong with that picture?
The hand on that guy's cap, the one with the side, it shouldn't be there.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Master Fun. Be more descriptive, Master Fun.
There's a hand in between the two gentlemen with the fingers up.
There is, in fact.
That doesn't make sense where it's coming from unless there's somebody underneath them.
There are, in fact,
extra hands.
Not just one, but there are two items in that photo that don't belong there. The phantom hand and the kid with the cap sideways. Because no self-respecting child is going to wear his cap like that. If you're a self-respecting ball fan, you're going to wear your hat like that New York Yankees hat, straight up with the bill sticking out. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. But very well, Amelia. I'll get it out. Okay. Here's one. Who wants to take this one? You guys remember this?
Oh, wow.
No.
Let's see. It looks like a Academy Award show. Let's see.
It was, in fact, the Academy Awards. There are people, and we're going to talk about this. There
Warren
are
Beatty.
people. That's Warren Beatty. Yes, sure it is. Yep. The one time that Warren Beatty delivers the best movie, best film award, and doesn't all hell break loose. Well, let me tell everybody what happened. Okay, because this is a little story here. There are people who believe that this was the beginning of the Matrix in America. And here's why. On this night in Hollywood, of course, it was the Academy Awards. As everybody knows, it's a grand night for the movies, right?
Yes.
Amelia, you and I just did our Academy Award special. Okay. The Oscar bizarreness was not just bizarre, but bizarre in a way that is typical of this entirely bizarre time. Master Fawn,
Yes.
keep your marijuana on your table where you can get it. I don't want you leaving the frame again.
Oh, I had to grab a battery to plug me in.
Oh, okay. The rhythm of the yes, they won. Oh God, they didn't win with La La Land, replaced by Moonlight as Best Picture, was weirdly expected if a safe result was on its way. Although they're going to compare this to the election. Although, like that of election night, first a more or less expected result was on its way. Although Hillary Clinton never got all the way to the stage, so to speak, the result did seem safely in hand at 7 p.m., according to the polls. And the expected and safe people were ready to deliver that touching but obviously polished speech. Then the sudden confusion and visible near panic of people running around in the backstage of the stage with the same slightly horrified spirit that one felt on election night, as shocking results began emerging from the exurban counties in Florida. Then, yes, can this be happening? The revised and unexpected result of the best film. In this case, obviously the result was positive, but the poor La La Land producers, with their earnest and spouse-approved speeches already delivered, Moonlight was no Donald Trump of cinema, and obviously a popular favorite. Though there had been those of us who were fooled by its beautiful photograph sentiments a bit, but the rhythm of that night was discernibly the same. And the sheer improbability of the happenstance scarily alike. Nothing like this has ever even remotely happened before. Never before has there been an occasion when the entirely wrong movie was given the award, the speeches delivered, and another movie put in its place. That doesn't happen ever. This wasn't just a minor kerfluffle. This was a major malfunction. Let me tell you why. Let me explain why. There are not one, but two separate and independent accounting firms responsible for the safety and security of that ballot that producer is holding next to Warren Beatty. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Those ballots are so secure that they are with a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week guard from the time the nominations are met to the time the award is given. That's how secure they are. Never before, never, ever, ever, hasn't happened before, hasn't happened since. The first and only time ever in motion picture history that the clear winner of the film was replaced by some other film that came out of nowhere. That literally came out of nowhere. Okay? Warren Beatty had the envelope that said the winner is La La Land. But there was another envelope that said the winner is Moonstruck. Well, who won?
Did they declare it a tie, or did they finally say it was Moonstruck?
No, they did not declare it a tie. What they did was, I'm glad you said that. What they did was they went with the majority rule on that picture. In other words, if let's say 10 people voted in a category, if 7 people voted for La La Land and 3 people didn't, well, then La La Land would win. Okay?
Okay.
For example, if Moonstruck had 9 people vote for it and 1 that didn't, well, they clearly had more votes, right?
Correct. Yes.
Because 9 is more than 7.
Correct.
And that's what they did. They had the people who had the most votes for that particular film. And that's the basis for which they used to give the Academy Award. By the way, it's also the first time the Academy has ever been sued.
I would have sued him too.
Oh, they did. The producer of La La Land sued and won. And guess what they did? They gave them an Academy Award as well.
Good for them. I would have done the same thing. Say, you know what? I deserve it. You called my name first.
Okay. The world's greatest minds, and they're all wrong. Elon Musk, Nick Bostrom. You know who Nick Bostrom is, Master Fon?
No.
He's the guy who gave us the term. He gave us the term simulation theory. And of course, Neil deGrasse Tyson, who shouldn't even be called a scientist.
Yeah, you took my planet away.
Well, he didn't do nothing. He doesn't have the power to take his parking ticket away, okay?
Dude doesn't even know what the shape of the Earth is. He's changed his opinion 12 times.
Well, I mean, he's a television personality. He's as much a scientist as Bill Nye the Science Guy. Okay? Who was a structural engineer, as I understand.
Yes.
Okay. So, I think we can conclude, based on the evidence, that we got some explaining to do, Lucy.
I don't know, but Elon Musk actually has invented things. I mean, just to be devil's advocate here, I'm just saying.
Go ahead. Please, let's have this conversation.
A dude actually has invented things and actually has proven himself where The other two idiots you just displayed have read scripts on television and gotten famous because of their good looks or stupidity has gotten attention. This man actually built himself out of poverty and made something of himself.
Actually, that's not quite true. Good looks and
Okay.
stupidity go a long way in making yourself a billionaire. Especially if
Unfortunately.
you got huge tits and a nice ass. Okay? Elon Musk, on the other hand, he and his brother came over. Although they were not completely wealthy, they did have a certain charisma and charm that endeared them to investors. And therein lies where they got much of their money. By the way, for the record, all of their investors have been paid off in full with interest. So, those want to say Elon Musk came over here with nothing and built an empire. That's not quite true. Okay? It's not true. No one comes over here empty-handed and builds an empire. You come over here, this country's going to give you money. Because that's what they do with foreigners. They give them money. And they give them a place to live. And they give them a job. And they give them all the benefits that we don't have. And we fucking live here. So I'm not a big fan of immigration. Of any sort, of any shape, of any type, of any form.
Right. Exactly.
Now,
correct. And they
I
give them
admire
Medicaid.
Elon Musk for his fortitude. I admire him because he's an amazing bullshitter, even more so than I am. And I got bullshit down to a pretty good science. But Elon Musk is fucking amazing. He makes me look like an amateur. Because he's basically a car guy. And that's what he does. He's a car guy. But everybody says, oh, he's a mysterious looking guy. He speaks mysteriously. He speaks cryptically. No, he doesn't. He speaks with a damn accent. He's not from here.
No, they're saying about
What's
this, the
mysterious about
subtext
him?
of what he's saying. He says a lot of subtext in what he says.
No, he doesn't. He's repeating what everybody else is saying, only in a different way, a way that's more endearing to the public. That's all he's doing. Listen to what he's saying. I'll argue this all day long with you, Master Fon.
Okay.
And you're entitled to be wrong. I tell you, everybody's allowed
I
to be
will
wrong on this
admit
show.
it. I don't know everything, but I mean, I kind of admire
Well, I'm
the guy.
smartening you up, young man. I want you
I mean,
to learn.
some of his technologies he's invented were amazing. I mean, PayPal was one of the best things that ever was invented.
He didn't invent PayPal. Let me tell you what he did with PayPal. He bought an existing company and built on it. That's what he did. PayPal has been around far longer than people realize, okay? Like almost 25 years. People don't know that. PayPal has been around for almost 25 years, but yet you'll never hear people say that. You know why? Because it doesn't fit the narrative.
Yep.
It doesn't fit the Elon Musk narrative. He purchased an already existing company. So let's get that straight. Number two, he took a company that was failing and he invested money in it. How did he do that? Because he had a fledgling company started that was turning a profit. What do you do if you're a successful businessman? You take your fledgling company, you take some of that profit and invest it into a company that needs a little cash infusion. That's called circulating cash flow. And that's how business works. What else do you want to know? Because I got the answers for you.
Well, it's time for a break. Why don't we come back to that after our break?
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Listen to this one, folks. We'll be right back. Sit back and enjoy a word from our sponsor at Shopify.
Jess wanted to start a business when something surprising happened.
Today, I'm going to teach you how to crochet.
She started crocheting, like a lot. And her friends noticed.
Jess, you need to sell those.
So she signed up for Shopify and started building her business.
Yes, I love that.
And after a lot of hard work, this happened.
Oh my gosh, I just made my first sale!
You see, every day, hundreds of businesses get their first sale on Shopify.
We got a ding!
And the next could be you. So when you're ready to bring your idea to life
And become your own boss.
build it on Shopify.
This just in from the news desk. Joe Biden is still a dipshit. Film at 11. We'll be right back. Do you have sweaty balls or volleyball netty balls? It's time to make them ready balls. The Manscaped.com Lawnmower 3.0 will do the job and clean your knob with its patented no-nick head, so your head will function as desired. Enter promo code Wrestling Future for a generous 20% discount. That's enter Wrestling Future for a 20% discount. Manscaped.com and Wrestling with the Future, going balls to the walls with Manscaped.com and the Lawnmower 3.0. Your balls will thank you, and so will we. What's Buzz Podcast wants to welcome Radioactive FM 88.6 in Wellington, New Zealand, Radio Perth, Australia, and RTL Radio 102.5 in Milan, Italy. Welcome aboard, and welcome to the Buzz. We are back from a very festive break, back with Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman, with Master Fun and yours truly, the Mad Dog, Angelo DeCipio. So, when last we left off, we were talking about this fascinating thing called the Matrix and the Mandela effect, particularly the Mandela effect. And we were mentioning a young guy, Master Fon's favorite, Elon Musk. Well, let's hear a word from Sir Musk himself. Here you go.
Concept that a sufficiently advanced civilization will be able to create a simulation. Yeah. Maybe you've answered this before? A simulation.
I've had so many simulation discussions, it's crazy.
Okay. So, because
in fact, it got to the point where basically every conversation was the AI/simulation conversation. And my brother and I finally agreed that we would ban such conversations if we were ever in a hot tub. Okay. That was like, because that really kills the magic.
Hot tub, so the idea is, right, any sufficiently advanced civilization could create a simulation that's like our existence. And so the theory follows that maybe we're in the simulation. Have you thought about this? And
a lot.
Are we
even in hot tubs? So much so it had to be banned from a hot tub.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not the sexiest conversation.
Are we in?
I think here's, in my mind, like the strongest argument for us being in a simulation, probably being in a simulation, I think is the following. That 40 years ago, we had Pong, like two rectangles and a dot. That was what games were. Now, 40 years later.
And do you understand what he's talking about when he says Pong?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have no idea what I only know like Pac-Man and asteroids.
It was that Atari game back a long time
ago. It was
the
original Atari.
Well, listen, Master Fan, you have to understand something. There are two things you need to understand. Number one, I'm completely out of touch with the world of video games and or arcade games, which my wife, by the way, parenthetically, excels at, particularly the Willy Wonka coin game. She's very good at that. But the other thing is, I'm an old fart. I don't know about this Pong. Two. What is it? Two triangles and a ball. What is it?
It's table tennis in video game form.
Well, why don't they just say table tennis video? They got to call it pong. Why don't
As
they
in
just
ping
call it
pong.
video ping pong? Right. So let's listen to. Okay, I'll let Mr. Musk continue. Here you go.
We have photorealistic 3D simulations with millions of people playing simultaneously, and it's getting better every year. And soon we'll have virtual reality, augmented reality. If you assume any rate of improvement at all, then the games will become indistinguishable from reality. Just indistinguishable. Even if that rate of advancement drops by 1,000 from what it is right now, then you just say, okay, well, let's imagine it's 10,000 years in the future, which is nothing in the evolutionary scale. So given that we're clearly on a trajectory to have games that are indistinguishable from reality, and those games could be played on any set-top box or on a PC or whatever, and there would probably be, billions of such, computers or set-top boxes, it would seem to follow that the odds that we're in base reality is 1 in billions.
So
tell me what's wrong with that argument.
Is the answer yes?
The argument is probably. I mean, but I just like, is there a flaw in that argument?
I mean, someone.
I'm not sure what the error.
No. The argument makes sense. So the assumption then is that somebody beat us to it, and this is a game.
No. There's a 1 in billions chance that this is base reality.
Oh, okay. What do you think?
Well, I think it's 1 in billions.
Okay. Yeah,
I love the fact that this student doesn't stop. He presses Musk for an answer, and Elon can't give him an answer.
He gave him an answer. He just isn't getting the answer.
Well, he gave him a semblance of an answer, but he didn't answer the guy's question. He completely avoided the question with masterful speaking double talk.
Yep, the run around.
He's brilliant at masterfully speaking, particularly when it comes to scientific jargon and double talk. There's more. Let's listen.
That seems to be like clearly what it suggests. Right. And actually, I mean, arguably we should hope that that's true, because otherwise, if civilization stops advancing, then that may be due to some calamitous event that erases civilization. So maybe we should be hopeful that this is a simulation, because otherwise...
Because they could reboot it.
Well, otherwise, either...
I want to talk to you, Master Fon, about that expression right there. If this is a simulation, we can reboot it. In other words, start from fresh.
I've had this thought. I mean, if this is a simulation,
is it a plausible theory that Musk is?
It would require you to figure out if you could even access the program language, and how would you even attempt to do that being the program yourself? I mean,
because we have it. We have the program, and we have people that can break the code. And we know this because they have a place called CERN. You might have heard of it last night.
Yeah. Okay, so even if we could somehow access the code that's running this, who's to say that whoever's running this program is going to allow us to step outside of what the rules are?
Well, if you're Elon Musk, you got carte blanche.
And they do have the code.
Think about who Elon Musk is. He's one of the elite. He's got money. He's got power. He's got prestige. He's got connections out the ass, both private and public and political. He is a well-heeled individual, highly desirable to have as a good buddy. I would love to have him as my friend.
But essentially, he's still a sim in this. He wouldn't be a real person. We're still sims.
Well, that's a matter of debate, because you're going to hear the absolute opposite of his argument in about 30 seconds. So let's continue. Keep that, because I like where you're going with this. If we are in fact simulations, then is money no good? Do we not need cash? Do we not need power or prestige or connections? Do we not need any of this? Is it all an illusion? Let us find out momentarily.
We're going to create simulations that are indistinguishable from reality, or civilization will cease to exist. Those are the two options.
Okay, you just heard what Mr. Musk said. All right.
I don't know how he gets to that conclusion, but okay.
All right, well, let me ask you how you think. Look, before I go to you, let me ask Amelia, how do you think Elon Musk came to that conclusion?
Getting rid of people, like diseases, things like that, like he's been doing before, like they've been doing before.
Explain.
Well, like look at COVID. Look at all that stuff that they're making up. People dying.
Oh, and I think we're on two different
Well, I mean,
wavelengths here now.
well, like like he's like, getting rid of people. Like he said, maybe.
Let me ask you this question, Amelia.
Mhm.
Are you real?
I seem to think I'm real. I bleed,
Okay.
but
How do
people
you
are
know?
not.
How do you know you're real? Is your husband Jeff real?
His heart's beating. That I know
Okay.
it's a
How about your son Joseph? Is he real?
He's real.
Is Master Fawn real, or is he a simulation?
I don't
Him,
know.
I might think is a simulation.
Well, I mean, there could be.
I understand the nature of your question. How do
the
you
higher ups
prove you're a
people may not
simulation?
be real, so I don't know. It has to be who has
Well,
money and who
here-
doesn't.
Here is, you just heard Elon speak for 3.5 minutes of a almost 5-hour seminar / lecture he did at a college. He was there for nearly 5 hours. I just showed you 3.5 minutes. In less than 1 minute, I'm going to show you a guy that's going to rip Elon's theory to shred. Watch this.
Simulation, then all of our scientific knowledge that we have about the laws of physics and whether computers can become conscious, all of that knowledge, all of those concepts are derived from experiences of a virtual world, a fake world. It seems illegitimate to say that all of the concepts and all the scientific knowledge that we've derived from this simulated world can be applied to whatever the base reality is. Right. Because this base reality, we're actually conceiving it along the same sort of scientific lines as the world that we actually inhabit. Mm-hmm. And that does seem to be self-defeating, because on the one hand, you're saying this world that we inhabit is not real, it's simulated, and yet we can use it as a guide to understand some hypothesized real reality. If we are, in fact, in a simulation.
Okay, so explain to me. What do you think he's talking about? Because if you wish, I'll play it again for you.
That we could be in a simulation world for another world. We're living for other people to see how they would inhabit this world. Maybe.
You're kind of on.
You know what I'm talking about?
You're kind of on par. Yeah, you're kind of on par with where he's going.
Maybe I'm living for somebody else and see how I would inhabit this part and see how they could do it better. How maybe something could be like my children, or could be their children, and how they could raise them better in this life, or how I could dress better or smell flowers better, how I could cook better, maybe certain things like that. Maybe.
Well, Master Fawn, let's hear your hypothesis. Is the gentleman
Is it possible that the fish in a lake concept here, like if we're just a fish in a lake, and like when we jump out of the ocean is CERN, like we're just getting that momentary glimpse of something else. We don't know what the hell it was, but we know there's something. There's this other place that's not the lake. But like, is that possible? What's going on here is that scientists have figured out this other place that they have no clue what it is.
I think that's more with what Amelia brought to the table and what you just cemented. I believe that's exactly the collaboration of those two thought ideas is really kind of where we are, both theoretically and philosophically. And let me add another layer on. In reality, I think we're right there. I think we are literally at the ethereal realm. Okay. And those of you out there who understand what I just said, God bless you, because that means you've been watching. The ethereal realm is that place that connects the physical plane with the universal dimension. We're right there, and CERN touched it. We know they touched it because we've seen, we're reaping the, I want to use this word, please don't hate me, but we're reaping the benefits of CERN. And I hate to say this, folks. I really hate to say this, but they have really contributed some substantial benefits to the world of science, to the world of beauty and environment. They have spent a fortune beautifying the planet. Interestingly enough, their whole purpose is to destroy it. Why they would beautify it, I don't know, unless, as some people have suggested, it's all a smokescreen for the better good. I don't know. In this kind of, and Amelia Master Fawn, follow me on this.
Yes.
In this kind of augmented reality, night is day, day is night, bad is good, good is bad, east is west, and west is east, and north and south are opposite. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything is it's not what it appears to be, and I think that's the lesson to be learned. It's not as it appears to be. That's the big picture. But my question on a human and spiritual level is, and this is for either of my people here on my show, that and folks, if you want to answer it, answer this question for me, because I'm going to ask Master Fawn and I'm going to ask the Pitbull. You can answer this question too. You can answer it at what's the buzz popcast at gmail.com. What's the buzz popcast at gmail.com. Here's my question. In the final analysis, is this augmented reality here to help us, to hurt us, or will it not matter in the long run? There are three possible answers. It's either yeah, it's going to hurt us, no, it won't, or C, it doesn't matter. But explain your answer. Amelia, I'll start with you.
Well, I believe it's probably going to be here to help us in a way to maybe get better stuff for the future. It could be to help us. I know that they have a lot of cures for diseases already, but maybe help us for someone that's lost a limb, or maybe help us get better.
So you're saying they mean the technological advances, scientific
I would
advances?
say yes.
I won't argue with that. I certainly won't argue with that, because we've seen in the last probably, I'm gonna guesstimate here, but in the last probably 10 years, I'll say 15 on the outside, but for sure in the last 10, the world of prosthetics in medicine has come light years. So much so that Hollywood had a hand in creating it.
Yes,
so much so that when you think about this, Hollywood was the master of prosthetics before medicine was.
Yes.
Because Hollywood was doing special effects long before medicine ever thought about it.
Yes.
Okay? Think about something else. Something for everybody to think about. The same technology that can destroy our civilization can equally, that same technology, advance us light years beyond where we are. In fact, some people think it already has. We know that we have a paradigm shift. The Earth has shifted 13 degrees. We know that factually.
Yes, it has.
We can measure it. But it's done something else. It's taken the limited knowledge we've had in science, in medicine, in technology, and over the last 15 years, just went through the roof.
Yes.
It went fucking apeshit crazy. Technology. Absolutely nuts. To the point where people like Richard Branson and Elon Musk are starting their own space companies and travel to outer space and charging people to get there. Nobody ever had rockets but NASA.
Exactly. That's
And
why
now
And
they're
these
outdated.
guys are doing it better than NASA. You know why? Because they got more money than NASA.
I think I'll
Private
stay down
industry
here
is
on
always
Earth.
going to be better at things than government will be. Always.
Yeah, you know why? Because they have more money than government. And
They're
the
also
money
more
that
efficient.
government has, they're not going to tell you they have.
The
Remember
government
that.
doesn't have a cost benefit analysis driving it. They're not looking to profit from it.
Who says that? You believe that?
Do you honestly think that the billions of trillions of dollars we've spent on NASA is looked to eventually get residuals from it?
Do you see that it says Master Fun, Inquisiting Mind? How would you like that to read Master Fun, Dipshit at Large?
Okay.
No. Here's why. Because government will always find a way to turn a profit. They are in the profit-making business. Don't you understand? Government is business. It's the epitome of big business. Their whole MO, their whole modus operandi, their agenda ad needum is to create money, cash flow, profit.
Where certain things are just given in society as a waste, like education. It just burns money. It doesn't make money.
You believe that. You keep believing that. If that's what you believe, then I will come here next week with the facts and the figures to blow you away. Because I know factually that every college in this country, from the Ivy Leagues to the community colleges, are making money by doing nothing. They don't have to teach. They're making a profit for the government. These student loans have the highest. It's cheaper for you to take a loan out from a mafia loan shark than it is to take a loan out from student aid.
It is.
And people should be talking about the fact that these universities are not educations, but rather financial institutions.
I just said that. That's why they will never go out of business.
Yep.
And they always turn a thank you for making my point for me, because they will always turn a profit for the government. The biggest money maker government has is colleges and universities. Why? Student aid. 2 words, ladies and gentlemen, student aid. Okay? Those student loans, they have higher interest rates than Fortune 500 companies paying. They have higher interest rates than the construction market, than the lending market. It's crazy how much they're getting back. I personally I fought with the Department of Education, the United States Department of Education, for 21 years. I'm not even making a bit of that up. I swear to you. 21 years I fought the United States Department of Education and won. Took me 21 years, but they ended up owing me money. And I got every penny of it. So kudos to the Department of Education. They did keep their word. But my point is they're making money for the government. So anybody who thinks that government is using the educational system as a throwaway, you better think again. Because I got the facts, figures, and absolute knowledge to prove you wrong.
Yes.
Craziness. I want you to listen to this man again. Please just do me a favor and listen to him again.
Simulation, then all of our scientific knowledge that we have about the laws of physics and whether computers can become conscious, all of that knowledge, all of those concepts are derived from experiences of a virtual world, a fake world. It seems illegitimate to say that all of the concepts and all the scientific knowledge that we've derived from this simulated world can be applied to whatever the base reality is.
Right. I'm going to stop it right there. So what he's saying is it's not practical. It's disingenuous. It's absolutely disingenuous to believe that you're going to use real intellect from a fake dimension. Think about what he's saying now. I'm not making this up. You can see it. You're going to take real properties from a fake dimension and apply them to reality? No. It doesn't work. How do you do that? You can't do that. Let's listen to him. Really listen to what he's saying.
Because this base reality, we're actually conceiving it along the same sort of scientific lines as the world that we actually inhabit. Mm-hmm. And that does seem to be self-defeating, because on the one hand, you're saying this world that we inhabit is not real, it's simulated, and yet we can use it as a guide to understand some hypothesized real reality, if we are in fact in a simulation.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So if I break that down into dumbass, he's basically saying we are a simulation, it would be impossible for us to conceive of a base reality from our experiences as the simulation.
You got it. You got it. I knew you had it in you, Master Fon. I knew you had it in you, baby.
Yep. Seems like we have somebody agreeing with you with the education system in there, in the comments.
Yeah, you got it. Here's what I wanted. And let me bring this up. For both of you. And we got some comments in our.
Yeah.
Layla Schmidt, search YouTube for planets using the Nikon camera. They are not what NASA should. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I like this woman, Layla Schmidt. Layla, I'm with you. Space is an absolute lie. It's also, may I add, Layla, that space is a deception. It's also not only a deception, it's a distraction. Space isn't real. The notion of space doesn't exist, just like the notion of time doesn't exist. It's both infinite and limited. We got all the time in the world, and we don't have time to tie our shoes. Okay? The education we are given is nothing but lies. You're absolutely right. I got 14 years of education to prove it. Going to college is an indoctrination. You're abso-fucking-lutely right. I would love to have Layla on this show. Layla, consider that an invite. You have an invite, woman, to join me anytime you want. In fact, why don't you join us next week? Why don't you join Master Fon and I, along with Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman, and the Mad Dog. Let me know what you want to do. I would love to have you on here. We are talking about the Mandela effect and the Matrix. I got a couple little videos to show you. Before I show you the one that's really kind of freaky, let's watch a trailer from a movie. This is the trailer for the Mandela effect.
You can't mention simulation theory without mentioning the Matrix movies.
People were going.
This is a glitch in the Matrix trailer. Sorry, not the Mandela effect.
Crazy over it. The Matrix was real.
We are living in a simulation. We are being inhabited by some sort of player.
It's a game.
A world without rules and control.
What's the point of all this?
Everyone is fake.
I am not a body at all. I am the code. I am a string of numbers constantly replicating in some vibration.
I am not a body at all. I am a code. I am a string of numbers. Remember that.
None of this is real.
I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see.
What am I to make of that, Amelia? I am not a body. I am a code. I am a string of numbers.
A simulation, a part of a game, basically.
Well, then what is my DNA? It is a code. It is a string of numbers.
Yeah, it's like something that something that the government was.
Well, can I be a code, a string of numbers that contains a code and a string of numbers? Are we infinitely a string of numbers and a code?
No, because God gave us a soul.
There you go. That's the answer I was looking for. If we are an infinite string and code of numbers, then God is a lie, Jesus never existed, and this is all bullshit. Okay?
And that's what they're wanting us to believe.
And that's the pit bull hit the jackpot tonight. And that's what they want you to believe, ladies and gentlemen, that God is a myth. It's not real. Jesus never happened. He's not real. It was all a fairy tale made up. And what did they point to solidify their hypothesis? A real book that was written 500 to 700 years, 500 to 900 years prior to the Bible. A book called, that is still around, by the way, a book called the Epic of Gilgamesh. They also point to the book of Q, the oldest known book on planet Earth, the book Q. Okay? And I'm not talking QAnon. I'm talking the book Q. If you want to know what it is, look it up. Just type in the book of Q. It's literally the oldest known writing, period, to mankind.
But they want to make you believe that the devil is real, but God is fake. That's stupid.
Well, yeah, and that's the funny thing is you can't have one without the other.
Exactly. You have to have the good and the bad and the
that
evil.
There's a God, as I do. If I believe that there's a God, as I absolutely do, I must absolutely believe that there's a devil, that there's a Satan. I have to believe that.
Right,
because if I don't believe one, I cannot believe the other. You almost have to say maybe the atheist has it right because they don't believe anything. And that's okay. They have a right not to believe anything. But don't be a hypocrite and say, I believe in God, but I don't believe in the devil. Or I believe in Satan, but I don't believe in God. Because if you believe in Satan, you have to believe in God because God created Satan. That's a fact. That's factual. You cannot make that up. And I don't care if you read the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, the book of Q, it's there. It's there.
Exactly.
Okay? God created the heavens and the earth. Who or what God is will still remain a mystery. And if God ends up being a little gray guy from outer space, then so much the better. And if God ends up being a kindly old man, a kindly but firm old man in the sky with a long white beard, then that's okay too. But
Yeah.
I don't think that's what God looked like. Remember something, though, ladies and gentlemen, and Amelia and Master Fawn. Remember this. We have pictures. We have pictures from that period of time, from when Jesus walked the earth, and even before Jesus walked the earth. And remember this. Those people, they may not have been articulate in their wording, but they drew everything they saw. And we have those drawings. And if we want to know what happened in a certain part of history, we have those drawings as reference. Okay? In fact, in about 6 weeks, as part of our Matrix Mandela series, because this will be 13 weeks, folks. We're not going on. We're going to stick with this for a long time.
Yes, we
Because
are.
everything ties into it. The Bible, the Torah, the Quran, the Q, Satanism, Mandela, CERN, the Matrix. It all ties together. And more so. You're going to hear stories that will lift you up over the next 12, 13 weeks. And you are going to hear stories like I showed Amelia last night that will absolutely horrify you to the point where you can't sleep at night.
Yeah, that bothered me last night.
Yeah. I showed Amelia a story last night that made her cringe.
Yes.
What made it even more so is that it came out of a 13-year-old little girl. Okay? This is what we do here. We educate the masses. And evidently the masses are starting to listen. So, why don't we, now that we played that trailer, I love that movie, by the way. If you get a chance to see it, let's see. Biblical cosmology. I love this woman. Oh God, I love you so much, Layla. I don't know you, lady, but I love you. Biblical cosmology is the truth. Absolutely.
Never even
I
heard
have
of it.
biblical cosmology.
Don't know
Read
what
the
that is.
Bible. It's in the Bible. Yep. Satan is the obstructor and the adversary. Absolutely. Biblical cosmology. I'll give you a perfect example. Pastor Steve and I were talking last week about Ezekiel's wheel. Okay, remember the conversation we were having?
Yes.
Ezekiel's wheel. It's a satellite. That's what Layla's talking about. She's talking about the Bible as it relates to the cosmos. A lot of people believe God is literally an alien. Many people believe that the aliens, the so-called little green men, they are us. We are them in their devolved form. I tend to buy that.
Seriously?
I buy that. Absolutely. Jehovah, God's name in the Bible. Well, that's interesting you say that, Layla, because there are several people that say that that the spelling of Jehovah makes all the difference in the world. For example, if you spell the name like this, excuse me, hold on. Here we go.
Yeah.
If you spell the name like this, let me put it up on the screen for everybody.
Oh, yeah. I've seen it like that, like with the A, Y-A.
Yeah. If you spell the name Jehovah and you spell Yehovah, they mean two very different things. So there's some argument, some debate over what the proper pronunciation and spelling of God's actual name is. First of all, we should never, as Christians, we should never call the literal name of God. We should never do that. We're absolutely not permitted to. So, given that, I would like to have that debate, but I'm not going to call, I'll never call God in prayer by his name. I will always call him Heavenly Father or God. That's as close to his name as I'll get. And understandably so.
Absolutely, and that's why I don't believe, like, the Catholics. I don't see how they call their priest by father, because to me that's not a father. I will never do that. My sister, she's
They
Catholic,
get
and I
that.
don't do that.
They get that as a derivation of the Pope, who's called the Holy Father. You know, supposed to be, the Holy Father is supposed to be God's representative on earth. Well, what about God being his own representative on earth?
Absolutely, that's why I will never say father, whatever. I
No.
will never do that
Nope.
ever.
I grew up having to do that in Catholic school. Okay. Needless to say, I absolutely resent the Catholic faith, and I think it's all a crock of shit.
Yeah, so when my sister
I
got
want
married, I
you,
said, "Sir." I
Amelia,
never.
do me a favor, would you please?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to do, sir. Where'd that come from? What the hell is that, sir? I want you to go into the chat, please. Into the chat with Layla. Send Layla an invite for next week's show, please.
I would love to.
And I will. I'm going to show a video, and Master Fawn and I are going to take a look at this.
One, twins or not. The two men you see in the footage may look exactly the same, almost as if they're identical twins, but believe it or not, these two have no previous connection. Both of them are minor league baseball players who play for two different teams. The color of their eyes is different, but besides that, they look exactly alike. And that's not just it. They're both named Brady Feigl. The two men tried to convince the world that they were not related, and their uncanny resemblance and common name was just a huge coincidence, but no one would believe the story. So they decided to put it to rest once and for all by getting a DNA test. And finally, they were able to prove to everyone that they were not related. They just had ginger beards and similar taste in spectacles. But no one can
Now, what are the odds, okay?
Yeah, it's weird.
They're both named Brady Feigl. Both names are spelled exactly the same. They look almost identical. They look like they could be twins, like separated at birth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not weird enough, okay? It gets a little weirder. Watch this.
Explain why they both have the same name that's even spelled the same way. Both the Bradys are 6'4" tall. Both are pitchers for Texas Rangers and Oakland Athletics, respectively. And strangely, both of them underwent Tommy John surgery, and the same doctor performed both their surgeries. And yet, according to science, there is no relationship between them, though their DNA test did reveal that both Feigls shared the same amount of German ancestry.
Now, how strange is that?
That's too weird.
That's weird. That's some weird shit. Okay. So, is that a glitch in the Matrix? Is that just coincidence? Is there something perhaps that the genealogy has not picked up? What are the odds that two guys looking exactly alike? What are the odds, really?
The same sport.
They're both pitchers for the same sport. Yeah, crazy stuff. That's nuts. You know?
It's I don't believe in coincidences. Not of that degree. I don't believe that that's a coincidence. There's something there.
I believe so too. I'm going to show you something else that's a little I'm just going to say it's a little odd. Okay? Remember I said to you at the beginning of the show that Babe Ruth is alive and well?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we did.
Said that? Okay. Well, I'm going to show you a video that may very well show Babe Ruth alive and well. Let's take a look at this. Watch it. And just bear with me because it's a little kooky, but just check it out. That's a fan in the stands. He's wearing, it's funny, he's wearing a New York Yankees jersey. Okay? And that's Babe Ruth.
Okay.
Okay?
That's creepy.
Yeah. Here's the best part. You ready? The guy clapping his hands wearing the New York Yankees jersey. That wasn't in New York.
What?
That wasn't at a Yankees game in New York. It was at spring training in Florida. He was at spring training in Florida watching the Yankees Farm Club play. Interesting. And the plot thickens. Let's take a look. Let's just look up play. I just think that you can't get, I mean, even the hair, everything, even the hair is the same. Amelia, look at that.
I just can't believe that. It's remarkable.
Yeah. What do you think of that? That's crazy stuff or what?
Very crazy.
It's very
little odd, ain't it?
Too odd.
Or
there's
a lot
even
odd.
a little something going on with the guy in the background with the suit, as if he was like some kind of agent or something. I'm not quite sure what was going on in the background of that, but yeah.
Let me just say something to Layla. If I'm not going to respond to you on camera here, but I will say to you, I can disguise your voice for you.
Mm-hmm.
I have the technology to disguise your voice and your face. So we can put you in silhouette and change your voice. That's not a problem. We have that ability. So if you want to join us, you can certainly join us. I would love that. At least I would love to have you in our chat next week.
Right. Or she
If
can
you'd
message
like.
us on what's the buzz at
She kind of
gmail.com.
reminds me of Moonchild a lot.
Mm-hmm. She does a lot.
Yeah, she reminds me. You remind me of our friend Moonchild. All right. Well, listen, Layla, thank you for joining us. Join us next week, please. So before we do get out of here, wow, this is an hour and a half tonight. Good show tonight. Master Fawn, you were at your game tonight, young man. Very, very. I am impressed. Very, very much so. You too, Amelia the Pitbull. Amelia.
Yes.
I'm going to bring you up on the big camera tonight. Tell everybody what's coming up.
Of course, absolutely. We on May 15th, we're going to have Marcus Cahill and Don Ely joining us on Monday night. Of course, Marcus Cahill is a very much lookalike of John Lennon. And
yeah, we like the Beatles around here. We love John Lennon.
And of course, Don Ely is going to be coming back as a second
Tell
guest.
everybody who Dan Ely is.
He is the gentleman that actually gave a guitar to Paul McCartney. And
he met Paul McCartney in Tennessee, and he met Paul McCartney. Oh, he gave him a guitar that Paul gave back to him. But he did get the opportunity to hang out with Paul for 3 weeks.
That was an interesting time for him. I know that he got to spend time with the birthday with Paul McCartney, which was an interesting story. We'll get to hear hopefully again. And on May 16th, we're going to have Frank from Houston.
Frank in Houston will be here. He will be here. He's my buddy from Houston. Frank is an amazing guy who does a lot of great work.
Absolutely.
For blind people, he's got a group of friends. They're all blind. He takes them out to dinner. He helps them get haircuts. He takes them to the dentist. He makes sure they get to
Shopping,
their
everything.
doctor's appointments. Yeah, exactly. All of their he helps them with everything. They need help. Frank's the guy. He's there.
Yes.
He's there. This guy should be like nominated for sainthood.
Oh, absolutely. They had some awards on TikTok, and I think he should have been nominated for one of them, humanitarian award. He should have been nominated for that award.
Absolutely. If I'd have known, I would have nominated him for sure.
Me too.
The other thing that we will be doing for the next, again, we got certain shows in between, but for the next 12 to 13 weeks, we will be on Matrix, Mandela, CERN, the Bible, Satanism. We're going to do it all. It all ties in together. And we're going to show everybody how it fits. So let me bring Master Fawn up. Master Fawn, another great night. What did we learn tonight, my young friend? That besides that, Angelo is always right.
Touche. I question everything. Absolutely question everything.
We do on this show. We do every week.
Yeah, basically learned if reality is reality, is fake.
Now, can I tell you something? I'm going to share something with you guys. Let me bring this up here. I am also one of these people that I'm a conspiracy person, okay? And I don't trust anybody. Like, I love having Moonchild here, but I think Moonchild is a government operative. I also think Layla is a government operative. But that's cool because I like my country, but I don't like my government.
I'll be honest, you hate your government.
Unless my government is telling the truth to me, then I love my government. And as I said before, if the whole government wants to lie, at least a couple of people in the government are telling the truth, you got a chance to sway me back to you because I am really a patriot. I really am.
Well, we did have one try, but
who that?
Donald Trump. He tried, but well, look what happened. They didn't like it very much.
Oh, no. I'm talking on a personal level.
Yeah.
Although I did meet President Trump before he was president, I used to work for him in Atlantic City. I worked at the Trump Casino.
Nice guy, right?
And I met him twice, and he knew me both times. The guy was amazing. He remembered your name. If he met you one time, he remembered who you were.
That's an awesome guy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I met his bodyguard. This guy was scared the shit out of me. His name was Maxie, Big Maxie. Maxie was a character, man, but he'd rip your head off.
Oh no, don't mess with him, right?
Don't mess with Maxie. No, please. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have some great shows coming up too. I mean, we're gonna have a bunch of shows that you want to get to watch us and listen to us for. Like, for example, we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff. They're gonna tie up, like MK Ultra is gonna be one of them. You're gonna want to watch this for that one.
Yeah, MK Ultra for sure. We're going to do revisit MK Ultra. How does that tie into everything we've been talking about? It ties in very, very nicely, as a matter of fact. So you want to know how? We're going to show you how. You remember something? Angelo and Amelia were like the puzzle. How do we? No, I'm sorry. What's that word I was looking for? We're the code breakers.
Yes.
We're like Nicolas Cage and the what was that called?
Treasure Hunter.
What was it called?
National Treasures. So we're gonna.
No, not national. No, yeah, better than National Treasure. I think it was called Wind Talkers. It was about these code breakers during World War II.
Yep.
Yeah, that's us.
Give us something. We're gonna put it together. And if you tell me not to look under that rock, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna look under that rock.
Amelia and I and Master Fawn, we're like the big kids that are not going to do what you tell us. Because if you tell Master Fawn don't do that, he's going to do it just because he can.
Keep out.
He's got no money and he just likes to go places.
No. Don't push that button. Okay, touch.
Or if this place is haunted, don't go in. I'm going to be the first one that opens that door and goes into that haunted house.
Absolutely. No shit. We know that for sure. Jesus. All right.
Hey, I'm going to go in with that flashlight. I'm going to go in.
Yeah. Oh, man. She's a trip, this one.
Hey.
Well, I'll tell you what. Another great night. Another great show. You can join us every Monday and Tuesday, folks, on What's the Buzz Podcast and Blunt Talk Radio. On the Podbean Network, it's wwtfradio.podbean.com. That is our hub. You can reach us on Linktree. Just type in Linktree in Google. Take Linktree, it'll take you there, and / WWTF Radio. It's linktree.com / WWTF Radio. That's us. You can find us on your phone, in your car, everywhere you are. That's where we are. You can take us everywhere. Download our app. We have an instant download for our YouTube channel and our app. You can find both of them on our Linktree. You can find them on our webpage at Podbean. You can find them on our, I believe, Amelia, on our Facebook group.
Yes.
And if they're not there, they will be tonight.
What's the Buzz Podcast?
We'll definitely make sure that they're both there tonight for you. So on behalf of Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman, on behalf of Master Fun, I am the Mad Dog, Angelo DeCipio, saying good night. We'll see you next time. God bless everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.